Thunderbolts, issue 247. My name is Nicola.
Rene.
I'm Sean.
And welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
Hey,
We're
we're back in the studio, baby.
Back in the studio,
It
back
feels
at our
weird.
home base.
It feels weird to be back at home base.
Yeah. It's because it's been so long. We had Art Fest.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had
We had
Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day
Yeah.
was next,
Mhm.
and then now we are back in the shop.
Mhm.
yeah.
And yeah, man, how was Free Comic Book Day, Rene?
It was actually pretty good. We did a good turnout. Really good. You were missed. You were asked.
Oh, really? They asked for grilled cheese?
People asked about
Aw.
you,
Yeah,
so I told them next year.
Everybody
guys.
walked over to him and was like, "Where's the food at?"
Yeah.
It was my
I
mom's
literally,
birthday.
I got food that day.
I literally had one customer be like, "Well," he goes, last year was a little bit better because I was eating and waiting in line too." He's like, "Well, yeah." I'm gonna go, "Yeah, this time it was his mom's birthday. He couldn't get the day off,
Yeah.
obviously." So I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
I was
They're
cooking
like,
there.
Were you really?
Oh, yeah?
I was cooking all
"Oh, what'd
day.
you cook for your mom?"
Chicken tacos. I also made asada tacos and some fried shrimp tacos.
Nice.
Yeah. Then my mom's friend, she had brought in some beans and rice that her mom had made, which were delicious.
Nice.
Then just a bunch of other like snacks and stuff.
Yeah, I would have shown up, but after Free Comic Book Day, I was a zombie.
I tried to
We
show
got,
up.
done.
we got
Yeah.
plastered so fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to show up, and I was like in the messages going like, "Sean."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Sean.
that. Yeah, as I was like falling asleep, and I'm just like, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, it's about Sean. I was like,
It was at that hour my phone was in the room charging, and
Yeah.
we were just
Zonked. You were
Yeah.
zonked. Yeah. Me and Monica had finished up what we were doing, and then she was like, "We can go to Sean's," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." She goes, and I'm like, "Well, let's just head over." And she goes, no, let's like message them and see if they're still awake. 'Cause
I wish you just showed up.
Yeah, because and then she goes like, "Well, like it'd be weird if we just showed up and then like nobody's there or like the party's over." And I was like, "All right, let's message." And I messaged, and then you didn't
Yeah.
respond. And then she was like, "Oh, maybe they're just
How
asleep."
far is it from Monica's?
From your mom's?
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes.
Nice.
Like, literally,
you guys
like-
are a stone's throw then.
Yeah, like literally 10 minutes. Like it was not very far. Honestly, I thought about just rerouting us, and then she was like, "I'm tired. I want to go home," because it was a long day. We had
the baptism for
we had-
the niece.
It wasn't the baptism; it was her first communion.
First communion. That's right.
Yeah, so it was our first communion, which was interesting because I've never really been to a first communion with little to no children, because they don't really have a lot of kids, like younger kids in their family. So
Yeah.
it was just a bunch of adults. So it was basically just an adult party for her, and
That's funny.
she was walking around while everybody else was eating and drinking. She was just like, "This party's for me.
This is mine.
This is mine."
Yeah.
It's like when your kid turns a year old, and it's just like beers galore
Oh,
for
yeah.
for Hispanics
For
Yeah.
Hispanics,
mainly.
yeah.
Mainly.
yeah.
If you know, you know.
Give
I
them a
made
reason
a-
to celebrate, and then they'll bring
Well,
modelos.
I had made a joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had made a joke to her.
Michelob Ultra.
I made a joke to Monica saying that when I was younger, my cousins on my around my first, I think it was my first communion, my cousins had convinced me that I should go get beer for them. So it was my first communion. So every single time I would go in to go get like a drink, I would fill my suit pockets with like beers, and then I would take them upstairs and I would give all like the older kids beer. I wouldn't drink it. I was just the gopher. Because my older cousin was like, "Oh, who would ever think that you, the youngest out of all of us, were the one that was sneaking beer?" And which they were right. Like no adult
No.
thought twice about seeing me like walk over to the bar, grab a couple of things. I think my uncle asked me once, like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, my dad asked for a beer," and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Just walked away.
Yeah.
Nobody questioned it.
Yeah.
It was
It's a
great.
Hispanic thing.
Yeah,
It's fine. Yeah.
Well, as you guys can tell, it's just three of us.
Yep.
For the
Should we
next,
do our plugs?
yeah, for the next 2 weeks, it's going to just be the three of us.
Yes.
So it's going to be this episode and 248. We're going to be, what was it? It's just going to be the three of us. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram, our not TikTok, our Instagram, our Facebook, and also our Twitter. What X? What is it called? Find us on X.
Find us on X.
And Podbean and YouTube Music.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to this. This is weird.
No, it's fine.
I feel like this is a thing that we should have written down. Not the intro. This.
The intro
cold-
we
the cold
got
open?
down.
Yeah, the cold open. We should have that written down.
We
I
should.
feel like that's a thing. But anyway, so follow us on all of our social media platforms.
Yes.
Follow us on. We can find us at any audio platform, which you listen to podcasts, anything else, and also on YouTube Shorts as well. You can find us on Apple Music and also on YouTube Music. Check out everything that's been coming out lately. We have all of our skits, podcasts coming out. Not only that, but also the past 2 weeks, we've been releasing little by little the interviews from Santa Fe Springs Art Fest. So those were a hell of fun. Those were so much fun, so much interesting stuff that all of our vendors were talking about, and the things that they're coming out with, and the next steps for them. I think so far we've had Rafael Navarro's just came out came out yesterday. What was it? Whamstam already had theirs. We also Philip Quick is coming out, I believe, tomorrow. Philip Quick
Prime time is that one's out as well already.
No, it's not.
It's just scheduled.
It's scheduled.
That's what I saw.
So Prime Time and Philip Quicks are scheduled. Also, I believe the Mesas, which are Super Mesa Bros, will be on Monday. Tuesday is Philip Quick, and then Friday is going to be Prime Time.
Okay. Cool.
So check it out. There were some awesome interviews.
Yeah, Manny was watching Raphael's and was laughing at the background of us.
Okay, so that is one of the funnier things that I didn't know, in which our girlfriends have been informing us of. If you haven't been checking it out, check out the interviews, and then watch the background, because apparently there's a lot of stuff in the backgrounds, which either I didn't catch in editing, or there was a lot, because it's so interesting. Because
there was one that Bryan picked out.
There was one that Andy found.
Oh yeah,
Andy had found it,
and we didn't see it at all. We had to really look.
He had to show it to us, because I even asked him, like, what was I
What are you
supposed to
talking
see?
about?
Because I didn't see anything, and it was the most funny situation ever.
Yeah, and then also
I
have to give props to Matt from Whamstand, man. It was one of the funniest things in the world.
Marketing genius.
That he's a marketing genius, to just walk out in the middle of an interview, not interrupt anything.
No, he's just in the background.
He's just in the background with a big old billboard on his chest.
Yep.
Just saying Whamstand. Whamstand. And it's so funny, man. I caught it in every single interview. I caught it everywhere else. It's so funny. But there's a lot of things I don't remember. Like there was a couple of things where Monica was like, "What were you guys doing?" And I go, "I really don't remember what we were doing.
Same.
I don't remember what we were doing."
This is a big blur at this point. I
Yeah.
remember getting there and then going home.
Yeah.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
There's
some stuff in between, but
I remember a lot of stuff in between everything else. But I'm super excited about that. I know. What was it? We were on the Santa Fe Springs post recently about like all their vendors and everything like that, so that was really exciting. We've also been coming up with the Whittier Art Fest, Comic Fest.
Comic Fest coming out.
All their stuff is coming out, and Eric has been posting all of our reels from the last show, so I'm really excited to see some of those, which is funny because I remember when I was after I interviewed Jevin, you said I interviewed him at Comic Fest. And I think
Atomic Chicken. That's why when I saw him up there, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah,
that's cool that him and Kevin and
Philip
were collaborating on that comic. So I'm like, that's
he's gonna
awesome.
be at Comic-Con Revolution, which me and Mandy are gonna be going. So when this gets released, it'll be this Sunday.
There's some big headliners at that fest too, huh? You said.
There's gonna be a lot of really cool stuff that's happening at Revolution.
Yeah.
I'm just super. It was just super funny because I remember you saying that, and I think like 3 days later, after Art Fest, Whittier Comic Fest posted it, and it was Jevons, and I was like, oh, that's funny. This is what Sean was talking about.
Yeah.
So check all that stuff out. Anything else happened for you guys this week?
Quick question to our visual fans who see the podcast. What did you guys think of the couch setup? I'm just interested and curious to see.
It was a cozy setup.
It was a cozy setup.
Cozy.
It's really funny.
Did you guys like it?
I don't know if this is just a ploy from Sean. I don't know if it's like I want you guys in my house.
Because Christy did, when she was watching me edit it, she's like, oh, this is really appealing, this long shot of just the four of us, and she said it gives me more of the impression that you guys aren't just doing a podcast to do a pod. This gives you guys more of an intimacy. There's more of an intimate setting that I'm getting from this and from you guys, and how you're all like bouncing off of each other, and I see it at once. I thought that was like really engaging.
Sean, if you want to get intimate with us, you don't have to.
I don't have to. I have
No, but
you
I see
all
what
on
you mean.
my sofa.
I see what you mean. Aesthetically, it's more intimate when you watch a podcast of four friends, just kind of kick back and relax, not in like a formal kind of way.
The funniest thing is that I was already 2 beers in during that show, so.
Oh yeah, I left the part at the very end where you burped, and we had just finished signing off. And you're like, "Oh man, I just burped, and some puke came up my throat." I left that.
You kept that part in.
I kept that little part in because it was just whatever banter we have at the very end.
Yeah.
Of us,
I don't know why it's
don't,
always really funny.
I don't cut it where we sign off.
It's I do the same thing.
That little dead air that we have. I like throwing it in when it's funny.
Yeah, when it's funny, it's great.
Yeah.
That acid reflex hit.
That acid reflex hit like a mother, dude. I was like, whoo, that was mean. But it was so funny though, because I was sitting in between you and I was so far back. I didn't know Bryan was sitting like that the whole time.
With his leg up.
With his leg up and the baby maker out. I was like, dude, like what is going on?
Full frontal right
Yeah, man. I was like, we're 2 steps away from it flopping out, man. Come on. I'm like, why are we teasing people?
Right.
This is so messed up.
This is why we need to do the OnlyFans.
This is
Another reason why we need to do the OnlyFans.
Yeah,
guys.
man. You can't just tease me like that and then just like keep waving it in front of the camera and not.
I need a night, okay?
Yeah.
Get us to
One way or
1,000
another.
subscribers,
One
and
way-
we'll do a foot finder.
Yeah, oh no.
Yeah, we'll make a foot finder.
No, dude.
That's why my foot's already
yeah,
could've been
dude.
on
Like on that
camera.
episode, he's like
I
presenting
did.
his
Yeah,
feet.
it's
I'm so sorry. It's just like I'm talking and my hands need to do something because
And
I
you were
fidget
just
so
playing
much.
with your feet.
Yeah, I had just taken a shower.
I know it was.
You can nut now.
Yeah.
It was super funny because sitting on a
I didn't mean
couch,
to.
I feel. You had a what?
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you said I had to pee too. I was like, I couldn't tell that. I didn't. that wasn't a vibe I had gotten from the show. I'm like, man, Sean's really gotta go.
But he's showing them.
He's
Not
rocking.
friggin', yeah.
He's just like, oh, I
My
gotta
dogs
go.
were out.
Showing them dogs.
The dogs were out. No,
Flinging them toes.
I liked that version of the podcast. I
Yeah.
think that's maybe something that we can.
That's something we'll do again. Yeah.
I think that's something that we could definitely do again. I feel that's a nice, cozy way of doing it and everything else. What do you guys think of the skit?
Mandy loved the skit. She was laughing.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
good.
Sound
Beginning
effects.
to end. Yeah.
Sound effects he did.
It was it was super
Awesome.
funny because I think I finished it in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because
It did not take me long.
so I was talking. Bryan came by before I closed, and we were just talking about it, and we were talking about how this past podcast and then the skit are doing really well because of the titles and stuff.
Yes.
And that
Your title.
thumbnail. That
Yeah,
thumbnail was cool
yeah,
too.
the thumbnail worked for us for our
Yeah.
podcast, and your title worked for the skit.
Yeah.
Which one?
The new Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
It-
got a lot of addition. That's
Yeah,
why.
it got a lot of clicks because people were looking up new Avengers
Yeah.
and
There we go.
then so when they were
That's how
looking it
we-
up, that's how we swoop in.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
into your algorithm.
Right.
Today.
Just a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I played you.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yes. And now you're stuck with us.
Now you're stuck with us. No, but
They just block.
no, but I thought it was so funny because halfway through, I don't know if we recorded it. I don't know if anything else. There was supposed to be another shot of Rene.
No, we didn't. I just realized that when I watched the skit.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we didn't do it. I was like, where's my second? We didn't do a second
I
one.
did- yeah, we did. I thought we
No,
did.
You
No, we
turning
did.
on the hammer.
It was
And
just
that
him
was the
turning on the hammer, and
and-
I was looking for it that took me the longest
Yeah.
because I was going through my
Oh.
deleted files. I was going through my computer.
Yeah.
I
You
went
should have just
through-
said something. I would have said, no, we didn't film that, man. Like, yeah.
We all can't drink
no,
at the same
because-
time.
'cause-
We can't. We forget things.
Listen,
Yeah.
you can't go like, hey, Nick, I know you just drank, but you should really direct this.
You
Because
took it
it's
upon
your
yourself.
idea.
No, honestly, it was. I think because like I didn't question it because we were just trying to get it
We're
done.
trying to get it
Yeah.
done. As
we were
fast as
trying to
possible.
get it done.
And then at
yeah.
a certain point, we were just like, okay, I think we got everything. And then we checked and we were like, yeah, we got everything.
As soon as
Yeah.
you said you got everything, I was confident. I was like, okay, I think we. That's why I was like, we got
you know
it.
why? Because we did 3 takes of the
Oh,
of
the same
of
one.
The same one.
Yeah.
So I saw multiple videos of you with the hammer, and I go, oh, we got this. And then when I went back to go do it, I was like, oh, it's the same video over and over again.
Where's that second one? Like,
Oh god, that was me, dude, trying to find Bryan saying that. It took me over just about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, he said like go 16 episodes back, so I went at 16.
Yeah.
And
There
then
was
I went
not-
like,
it was
and then I
not-
went up, up, and up. I'm like, where is it? There's no way we said it last year.
And
No,
then I
it was
saw,
literally the
I saw
Christmas episode.
the Christmas hats.
Yes,
and
and I was like, are
It was
you
Christmas.
I was there, but I just had to go back one.
Yeah.
And if I did, I would have saved myself 2 hours. That was the longest part of editing that entire thing.
Yeah,
Other than
he
that,
told me.
I was
He
like,
told me the next day. He was like, "Oh, I got 20 minutes in," and I was like, "How much time
No.
did you spend?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "At least an hour and a half."
No,
Just
that's in
looking.
the first minute. That's in the first 50 seconds of us
Talking?
talking.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 hours for not even being a minute done of editing.
I just thought it was so funny that he came into the office. He was tired. He was frustrated, and he was just like, "I'm not finding stuff again."
Oh man.
The one thing I thought was funny was the Marvel pages. I didn't realize how easy that was to do.
Oh yeah. The
It's
little,
super
flipping
easy.
of the pages.
Yeah, the flipping of the pages, super easy to do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how easy that
Yeah.
was. I did it once, and I was like, "Oh, this is super easy." I
It
thought
was
this
that
was.
easy.
I was like
You said it
literally,
was easy?
like literally. I put it. I put it in.
Easy, you say.
That's pretty easy.
No, I put it in, and I was like, "Oh, why did I think this was gonna be way harder?"
Now we just need to figure out how to track an image from here to over here.
And you just did that, so you're gonna try and do it.
Yeah, he's gonna do
Yes,
it.
Try and
yes,
do
that
it.
is.
He's a
This is
monster.
me trying to attempt it, and if I fail, there's gonna be a GIF probably inserted somewhere right here or a clip. I like my brain rot clips.
I'm so glad that you already took it into your own hands of going. I'm just gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
That
This is this is a sign of empowerment.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
That
If I take acknowledge of my hard work, it might not be that hard when I
Yeah.
do it.
maybe.
it's super
Wishful thinking at its best. Like-
I think it's so funny that your version of editing is I'm going to challenge myself.
Yes.
And my version
Yeah.
of editing is I know how to do that.
I,
Like if I already know how to
Yeah.
do it, then I'm like, okay, I know how to do that.
or like,
I still
like
can't
I know
create what
I
I
know what
envision.
you're telling me how to do it, but I already know an easier way to do
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Like-
Unfortunately, for a moving image, that is pretty hard because we don't have CapCut. Not CapCut. It's a After Effects.
We do.
So in After
Oh.
Effects, it's a little different. But when we already tried editing with it, After Effects, and you said it wasn't working out when you were trying to put it back in Premiere.
If
So-
you edit directly in After Effects, it works a lot easier, and then you put it to Premiere. If you put Premiere to After Effects, it's sometimes harder.
Well, I'll probably give that a try because
Yeah, give it a try this week.
dude, sounds easy. It's in theory, it sounds easy, but it's not. And if anyone out there edits too, you probably had that hurdle to jump. And
Oh yeah, it's funny.
it's kicking my ass.
Super fun. It's fun. No, because it's a fun little thing. Also, Monica is finding where she's finding perfect moments where I'm so focused, and then sneaking up on me. Where like she'll just appear.
She's messing with you.
Yeah, like I
She's
feel like, I
that
feel like
little
she's doing it on
like
purpose.
she's like that little movement of the shadow you see at the corner of your eye.
Yeah,
You're
dude.
focusing, like, what the hell is that? You're like,
she was literally. So I was editing.
like that. Like,
Dude, I was editing. I had both headphones on, and this is why I never have both headphones on. I always have like one off.
Yeah.
I had both headphones
Same.
on, and then I was like, okay, cool, and everything else. And then I don't know what it was. I didn't even see her. I just felt a presence, like right here. And then I'm like,
Huh?
I went like this, and she's standing there with like a pickle jar.
It's sexy time, Nick. Get your
it's
ass
pickle
in the
time.
bedroom.
No, I was just like, ah! She goes, and she's like, and I'm like, what? She goes, can you open this for me?
Oh man.
yeah.
Where did you come from?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I came from the kitchen. It's not that complicated. Like
Yeah.
you can see the
Where do you
kitchen.
think I got
My
the
house.
pickles?
Yeah.
Like, got from the bathroom?
Yeah. Or like I could, or like she, because
Can't open my toilet pickles.
My toilet pickles. Oh my
because from my desk you can see
Yeah, I
the air fryer.
toilet.
right?
You can see
It
where
keeps
the
it cold.
you could see directly into the kitchen. So it's super funny because she was putting stuff in the air fryer for dinner, and as she was doing that, she was staring at me, and then I was like,
You felt the presence.
and then I looked, and then she's just
The force.
like she's just eating, and I'm like, why are you staring at me, creepy?
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, I'm just staring at you.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, Chrissy does that too, and I'm like,
No, Mandy does that too, and she's like, and then
Stop.
I'll be like, why you just? Because I'm just like on my phone, and she'll just be like this, just looking at me, and I'm like, what are you doing?
they're
She goes, "I'm just
signaling
looking
us
at
for
you."
attention.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm just looking at you. And I'm like, no, don't. And she goes, I can't look at you. And I'm like, yeah, I can. I'm like,
You have a point, I guess.
yeah.
Monica says that I'm abusing her now because I can't because every single time I see her, I lick
Again,
her
you're saying this on
face.
a clippable platform.
You,
Like,
yep.
because
You and Bryan.
No, because-
like exposing yourselves.
no, because it's funny though because like now that we live together,
Yeah.
I enjoy annoying her,
Oh, it's yeah.
and this is like the greatest thing because like I
Gives
didn't
you
know.
zen.
Well, because
I don't know why it
no,
like,
because
it's perfect.
you
Like,
have the perfect excuse to annoy someone, and then they'll just still love you unconditionally after.
Yeah.
and I'm just like I'm gonna annoy you, and then she's
Oh,
like,
I love doing
"Stop."
that to Mandy. I push her buttons so much.
I
Sometimes I
will
do
break
push them
you.
too much.
I didn't.
but-
I didn't want. No, I've never done it. I haven't done it too much, but
Okay.
I have done it where I got Monica not mad, but she was just like, okay, where I got her phone and then I just put it on her chest and I was like, pay attention to me. She's like I'm paying. I'm right here, and I'm like, pay attention to me. And then she's like, oh,
Like,
all right, fine. And then I was like, and then I laid on her and then I went. And then I tried,
Oh,
and then I tried
You
to
did.
do, and then I tried to wet willy her. And she's like, "No, stop!" And then I'm like, and she's like, "Oh, stop!" And then she goes to go put her hand over it. And then she's like, "What? Why? Why are you doing this to me?" And then I'm like, "All right, fine." And then I got up and I walked away. She's just like,
that's it?
"Is that all you wanted?" And I was like, "Yes,
Yes.
that's all I wanted."
yes, I am full.
I've gotten my dopamine out of you.
Right.
And then she's like, "I'm so
I
anxious."
am full, but I shall require more in an hour.
Let him out alone in this.
She's like, "I'm so anxious now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Good." And I walked away, and I just walk away.
So it's so funny because I'll be honest, my room's not always clean. So when Mandy comes over, I do make the effort of straightening it up. So
Right.
this time when Mandy came over, I just did a whole clean, vacuumed everything. But I didn't pick up a water bottle. It was like that on the floor, and I'm video chatting with her. I'm like, look, before you come over, look at the room. She goes, oh, it looks so good, looks so pretty. She goes, wait, there's a water bottle thing. I'm like, yes, you know why? Because that's a reminder. It's not gonna always be like this. I go like, this is to remind you, this is not what it's gonna be like every single time. Like,
We'll be clean.
so she was just laughing and stuff. It's funny.
I like cleaning. I like cleaning sometimes. It's my zen.
Is- you
Vacuuming
know-
is really fun for me. I find
Really?
joy in vacuuming. Yeah.
I
don't know why.
We don't have a carpet because Monica finds them disgusting.
They kind of are.
Is it
Yeah.
a texture thing?
It's texture.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also like Monica gets like very anal about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So like my water bottle, you know, my big jug.
Yeah.
It has a plastic straw in it.
Okay.
So she was like, so I got it and then I put it on top of the counter and then she goes, when was the last time you cleaned this? And then
You're
I was
supposed
like,
to clean it?
I'm not saying that was my
Sounds like
answer,
Nick.
but it was really close to it. Of like, I rinsed
Clean?
it. Like, I rinsed it the other day.
Water goes through it.
Yeah, it's always
Like-
going back.
I put water through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it get dirty?
Water's going in.
Like, why would it get dirty? It's
Yeah.
just water. There's always flowing water through
There's
it.
black mold
It's
under it.
just-
It's just a rim
Yeah.
of mold.
So it was so funny because then Monica gets the lid and then she's like cleaning it and everything
Yeah.
like that, and then she like gets like the little she has like the little barbs
Mm,
to
yeah.
put inside, and then she gets it and she goes she pulls it out and like you see like all this like stuff that comes out of it. She's like,
No.
you've been drinking this, and I'm like, oh, that's the flavor.
Oh God, that's
Dude,
gross.
well, the thing is too is that
I didn't know it was there.
Well, no, the reason why it's like that is because you also put more than just water in it.
I do
Yeah,
put more
you
than
put Kool-Aid in it. And
I put
stuff.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I
Saliva.
put saliva.
Yeah.
Which I also put. I found that apparently they have Arizonas now that are in powder form.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So,
Really?
So you can just put powder.
Yeah,
in
hell yeah.
they're reaching, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going out.
So they're
there
doing.
now.
I
I
want
was
that.
so pissed off because we bought them. So
Mhm.
because they have the green the green tea, and then they also have the Arnold Palmer's
Yeah.
in some powder form.
I love all
I was so mad because it's a jar about yay big. It's like yay big, yay tall, and I'm like, awesome. Me and Monica bought it. We were like, dude, it's only $2. This is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
I then go, Kah! And the first thing she hears, because she's like laying on the bed, and I'm like, what the hell? She's like, and mind you, it's like that tall.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, guess how full it is. And then she goes, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's like almost half. And I'm like, so if this is where the top of it is, just say stop. And then she goes, stop. And I go, well, it's over here. And it's like further down. And she was just like, what? I go, inflation sucks.
Right.
I wanted more.
inflation.
But yeah, so I started putting Arizona in it.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah.
was just like, that's not water.
That's not water.
It's like, that's not what that's for.
Yeah, all the sugar will get caught up. And
Yeah,
stuff.
then after she cleaned it, she was just like, hey, did your water taste better
No,
after I
tasted
cleaned it?
bland.
After I cleaned it? And then I was like, and then she goes,
Ew.
could you tell the difference? And in my head, I'm going, it was Kool-Aid. It tasted like Kool-Aid. Like,
Yeah.
but I was like, yeah, I can tell.
Oh, you just put more sugar. The first thing you do after it's clean, you don't even put water in it. I mean, you put water in it.
I mean, I put water in it.
Eventually, there had to be water in it.
I mean, there was water in it.
Yeah,
and
but
then
you
I went,
put
and then I went,
Kool-Aid.
Quah.
Oh man. You know what? That just reminded me. I miss making Kool-Aid. Like back in the old days, how it was, where you get the flavor packet.
Uh-huh.
Not the flavor packet, but you get the
The little thin
the
packet.
little thin
packet.
packet,
You
and
still
then you
get
put
'em.
your sugar in it.
Yeah.
But you
then
can still
had
get
your
them. But that's the thing. I'm
90s ice
diabetic. I
pitcher.
can't just put sugar in it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
You
I
can
just
do
do.
stevia. You can
Oh.
do stevia. It's
Does it tell you the equivalent?
No, you still gotta eyeball it.
Eyeball
yeah,
it?
You gotta
Okay.
eyeball it.
taste it as you go, but just know stevia does have a very
Oh,
unique.
I'm not
No,
gonna. I'm not-
I've tasted like overly sweet and low stuff and equal and stuff like that.
I'm not gonna lie though. I do feel that the packets are good by themselves. Like I don't add sugar. Like
Oh,
I
really?
just put the packet. I don't.
Oh,
When I make my like the water and
Uh-huh.
Kool-Aid and everything like that,
Mhm.
I don't put extra sugar. I just
I
put the
do.
packet.
I like putting sugar in it.
My mom used to make Play-Doh out of those as well too. You
You
can
say
just smell-
Play-Doh?
Play-Doh, yeah. You can make Play-Doh out of those.
How? The Kool-Aid packet?
Kool-Aid packets, you just need dough,
Mm-hmm.
flour, and I think you need something, and then it just it starts smelling like what it is,
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's-
Actually.
and the color too.
that
So I
sounds
remember when my mom made grape, and I was like, oh yes. I was like, and
That
just
sounds like
playing
a
with it,
fun
yeah.
activity I could
That-
do
yeah.
with my kids.
That
Oh,
really
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
really does.
awesome.
Make
Okay.
Play-Doh
Now,
out of
now, now we need to
Put them in my
Goo-
pocket.
now
Go
I have
ahead.
to Google how
Go
to
for
make
it.
Play-Doh out of
Kool-Aid
out of
packets.
Kool-Aid packets. In which, if it doesn't show up, I'm gonna be like, I need you to tell me how to do this.
No.
Renee.
Renee, how do you
Yeah.
do this? I don't know. She just gave me stuff.
Right. The recipe went with my mom.
Took it with her.
She took it with her.
Whoa, wake her up.
Well, wake her butt up. All right.
All right, well,
Half an hour in, dang.
Half an
Yeah.
hour in.
That was a long.
Let's do.
That was a long tangent. I
let's do-
still didn't get
yeah.
to my story though.
What's your
That's
story?
okay.
Oh, I'm
Do it really
sorry.
quick.
No, it's okay.
No, I
I
wanna
didn't
know-
have
okay.
a story.
No, I really want it now. No.
Well, I
Give
can
it to
give
me.
you a quick recap of D&D
Yeah.
last week.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So last I told you guys, I accidentally gave a village aphrodisiacs, and everyone was boning like crazy.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Now, tell me why. Tell me why we had the worst
Tell me why.
die rolls for an hour, dude. We were rolling ones and lows to a point where we all fighting each other.
Where's your bucket?
And-
Where's your bucket of dice?
My bucket of dice, it's at home.
Hey, no, you don't bring a bucket of dice with you.
I forgot my dice that day, and I was suffering.
I always.
Okay.
I
Were you a
always,
DM? Or?
No,
Oh.
no, but no one could hit me still. They
No,
still couldn't. I mean,
My
Like, come on. You know,
does a 19 hit? I'm like, no, baby, you got to roll over a 21 to get me.
My,
Level 4 Shadow Monk.
It's so funny
Dang.
because
It was great.
My
It was
DM was he messaged me yesterday, And then he was like, "Hey, for our next session, we need to rent a hotel." And then I was like, "Are we gonna play Dungeons and Dragons, or are we gonna have sex? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?" He's just
Sex and Dragons.
no, and he was just like, "I mean, we could do both, but."
I can make a quick stop to baddragon.com. Not sponsored yet.
But anyway,
But we will.
We
But
will be.
We love you,
later.
Bad Dragon.
Like those little egg ones that
So
you know.
we've
you
been
know
playing.
which
So we've been
ones.
playing.
You know.
We've been
You
playing
know.
at Guildhall for the last past like 2 months.
Mhm.
We've been going to Guildhall, but the problem is that like you don't have that same
Intimacy. The
intimacy,
quietness.
like the quietness
you're at a
of
restaurant.
you're at a restaurant. There's a lot of people.
Oh,
There's all these other things. Not only that, but also like we've had like major battles at Guildhall, and it's some of the funniest things in the world of him going like, and then he raises his large goblet and he's about to smash his head in, and then all of a sudden you see, and then like you see Sean walk up and he's just like, "Hey, so how the drinks doing, guys?" And then like he's
You're
just like,
killing the immersion. Leave.
yeah, and, like nobody wants to be like rude, and everybody's just like, "Oh, they're great, Sean. Thanks."
Really good. Really good. Yes.
Yeah, really good.
Oh.
You guys-
Have a refill on these chips.
yeah, and he's just like, "Oh, do you guys want do you guys want anything else? Another round or anything
Yeah.
else?" And we're just like, "Oh, yeah, can we get a?" And then he goes like, "Where was I?" And, then and it's just an awkward moment.
You lose
Um,
that traction you just had.
Well, not only
Yeah.
that, but also my DM is saying we're three sessions away. We're 3 sessions away from finishing the campaign.
Mhm.
From like your characters are done. We're gonna say goodbye. And so I was like, he goes, "I want to have that intimacy again and everything else. I've been finding DM rooms, but they're only in the day."
What
Like
do you mean DM rooms?
Was this like a sex thing?
So there's a couple of places like in Pomona, there's 2 in Corona, and there's 1 in Pasadena.
Oh,
Where it's a
I
game,
see.
where it's an
I see what
actual
you
like
mean.
game store,
Mm,
kind of
yeah.
like this, but you can rent out, like they have a back tent area, and then it's like a full on tent with a table in
You
it.
should ask SideQuest. SideQuest is a great place.
So I checked out SideQuest.
Uh-huh.
SideQuest only has reservations for like 3 p.m.
Oh.
and like he's like, and it's only during the week. And
What
he
what
was like,
time are you guys usually? thinking of
usually
doing
like around
this?
like 7
7
or
till-
7 to like 10.
Oh, okay.
That's the struggle with D&D. I find nowadays is really being able to schedule everyone at the same
Yeah.
time.
And anybody that says, "Oh, we'll just do it online," it's not the same.
It's not
It
the
is.
same.
It is definitely not. And I don't like D&D online.
Online.
The thought of it
Mhm.
makes me cringe.
Yeah, a lot of people do ask when they come in, be like, "Do you know any places that do D&D like sessions?" And I go, "No, man. Like, I wouldn't know. You would have to go to like Facebook groups or
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Instagram
If
groups.
if Primetime had a room in the back for just like D&D sessions, I'd love it. I'd rent it.
I've had people interested in using this room,
That would.
but
be
I would tell
awesome.
them you got to rent it out by the hour.
That's the
That's
hard
the thing.
part.
That's the hard part, and you don't know how long your sessions are gonna be. They could start from 12 and it could end until 7 when
So
I close,
the
or
way that-
past that.
So the way that they were doing it was, SideQuest was saying it was for 3 hours
Mhm.
was $45 for 3 hours, which is kind of the same thing here.
That's
If you were to-
actually not a bad idea.
if you were to do
What-
like $12 an hour,
if you're renting out a room for just strictly D&D, doing it like that is actually really smart.
yeah, because it's just
Yeah.
$45 for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You guys are all the way in the back of the store, so you're not disturbing business. You're not in the way of anything else.
Yeah.
You guys are just back there. There's like a
Mhm.
little timer. It has like the nice little ambiance. They have the aux cords and everything
Mhm.
else where you can put stuff in.
Yeah.
They even have a TV where you can actually like throw pictures up and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty much all it is. It's just TV. It's just a TV and inputs. It's
Mhm.
literally all it
Yeah.
is. And like tables, and then and then power of the mind.
We can actually do that here.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, like
For us.
if we do a D&D like video,
Yeah.
we can use that TV for whatever
Yeah.
settings you want to use, so that as an ambiance.
I mean,
and
I'm
stuff
not.
like that.
I'm down to do Curse of Strahd again. Now that I've actually done it, I think I can do it better.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Everything
be.
else, if you
I'm
guys
gonna
ever
be
wanted.
DMing soon after my group and I. Skullbusters is what we're called.
Oh yeah.
After this, we're gonna be switching DMs, and my friend Jesus, who's been DMing for years, and he hasn't really been able to play like a legit campaign.
Uh-huh.
So I've been cultivating this campaign that I've been brewing since like 2020, and I'm gonna try and blow his socks off because I feel like he deserves it. Because like
awesome.
when does it's the forever DM syndrome,
Oh yeah.
and I think it sucks, you know. And he he hints at it and stuff, and I feel bad for him. So I'm like, nah, man, don't worry. I got you.
We did it a couple of times where our forever DM, he got to play a couple of times where we would do like one shots. We would find like one shots online, and then we would do those. Or there were some times where we were burned out from D&D, and then we would just do. We don't want to move the day, like not do it, because then it's out of our rotation. Where it's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna meet that day. So we wanted to still keep the time. So what we started doing board game nights, and then we just started filling that 3 hours with we're gonna sit down and play a board game. So we all just started buying new board games, and then doing okay, cool. So we're gonna play this board game that none of us have ever played before. We all have a fair chance of winning. We're all learning, and we're gonna spend 3 hours and just play that game, and then. We kept the time slot open. So then when he eventually was like, cool, I have an idea of where I want to go. I know where the story's going to go and everything like that. Instead of playing a board game, we just filled back into D&D. Because that's the hard part. Once you fill in that time slot that you were used to play D&D in, and you're like, oh, well, now that's the day I go to the market now.
We never got fatigued really for playing D&D. We played it consecutively week after week for 2 years straight, and that was my first time playing D&D.
Hey, listen, man, if you ever need a sit-in, I'm down.
A sit-in? What do you need?
Like just in general, like
someone to just kind of like be there.
You're down a player, and they're just like, hey, man, if you want to be like
an NPC,
not an NPC, but like a player for the day.
I'll hit you guys up
like a
fluffer when we start DMing at my house. I'll definitely hit you guys up.
Yeah,
because if you guys are there to experience that, because it's gonna be.
Oh, maybe that's
a sensory experience campaign as well.
I just thought of this right now because you were talking about the couch setting. We can do D&D at your house. Those videos.
Okay.
Those
because that is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think
we can do an aerial camera. We can do a camera looking at the three of you guys.
Yeah.
And then the DM.
Yeah. I think the
3 camera setup still.
We can talk more on that. We can talk more on that one because I actually do have kind of an idea for that. But anyway, we can do something. We can do something like that. That's pretty fun.
Do you have a big monitor? Do you have a big TV?
I do.
A big TV.
Like a super big TV.
That you just don't want anymore. That's less than 30.
Do you remember the TV that we took to Art Fest?
Yeah.
It's sitting in my garage.
Oh, cool. Can repurpose that.
And no, wait, hold on. Jonah's using it.
Oh well.
Jonah's using it for video games right now.
That's lame. But you know what's not lame?
Comic strips.
Comic strips.
Comic strips.
Comic strip of yours.
Comic strips.
Comic strip.
It's a portion of the show where we don't tangent for more than 10 to 15 minutes.
No, that was the first 30 minutes of this episode.
First 40 minutes of the episode. That's fine.
Shot.
Yeah, it's fine though.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. There's not big topics this week, so
wasn't.
we're just kind of jumping around this week.
We're getting back into the groove of doing the podcast,
There won't be a movie
in the
until
setting.
the end of this month, which was Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible,
Yes.
which also I do want to get the popcorn bucket.
What is the popcorn bucket?
The popcorn bucket is it's a safe. So it's an actual.
Does it play the music when you press the button?
It doesn't, but you can't open it without the keys.
Cool.
So it actually has a lid, and then when you push the button, it opens up, and it has the 2 metal keys from the movie. And then you have to put them together and then put them into the popcorn bucket to open it.
That's not AMC. That's Regency, huh?
No, that's AMC.
Oh, that is AMC.
That's an AMC.
I didn't notice AMC's popcorn bucket for Thunderbolts.
It's the limo?
It's the limo.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. I would just love just to have that, but I looked how much it's $50 for that.
It was a $50. It was a $50, and it doesn't hold a lot of popcorn.
No, but you know why it's $50? Because it's owned by Marvel/Disney.
Yeah.
Because all the other popcorn buckets were like $30.
They're like
Even
30
the
to 20.
Wolverine and Deadpool one.
That was $50.
The Bugatti one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Disney.
All the Disney ones are always really expensive.
Disney guys below.
Getting back into comic strips.
Yes.
So, that was on you.
That was.
Thunderbolts.
It's popcorn buckets.
Thunderbolts asterisk. The new Avengers strikes $35 million in its second weekend. Wow. Way to ride that lightning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jake Schneider, speaking of which, the director of Thunderbolts, is in talks to direct the next Marvel X-Men movie.
You know what? And that makes
I would love that.
And that makes sense because they don't really have an ensemble person, like people. As of right now, I mean, they have the Russos that know how to do like an ensemble, like a group of people, but they don't have an ensemble person like James Gunn used to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's who that they would have given it to. Like if James Gunn wasn't going to DC, and they didn't have that small falling out, I do feel like James Gunn would have probably directed the Thunderbolts.
Probably.
Yeah, it would, and then it would have been just like Suicide Squad. Essentially.
Yeah, I feel like that, and I feel like that would have been his take on it. Is it would have been Thunderbolts would have been Suicide Squad, and we would have never gotten in there like the DC version, the James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
because that would have been
his Suicide Squad.
His Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I think I like Thunderbolts more than Suicide Squad too.
Really?
Yeah, because
the
they're not
Suicide
comparable.
Squad?
Really, they're very different from one another in my eyes.
They're vastly different movies.
Yeah.
Different vibes.
Different
because
vibes
of like getting to the point of the story and stuff like that.
Because I feel that as much as I love Thunderbolts, I feel that Suicide Squad is a better movie. Like an actual like it has a like this
Plot.
is the plot, character wise and everything else.
Yeah.
I feel like especially because the thing that Thunderbolts has is Thunderbolts has 5 other projects. That's established these other characters.
True.
Yeah, it's the payoff.
And then this is the payoff. Whereas Suicide Squad is you don't know any of these characters
and
except for like
expecting
really
them to die.
And you're expecting them to die, but then in an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, he got me to love all of them, really hope that they all succeed, and
To
look
absolutely
forward.
hating John Cena at the very end.
Yeah, and then also look forward to seeing where everything else is going to go from here, to loving these characters. So I do feel that there was in a different way, it was a harder hurdle to get over.
Did you hear the different concept ideas they had for Thunderbolts?
So apparently Taskmaster had a big in a couple of first drafts. Taskmaster actually did have a bigger role.
Yeah,
Really?
Her and Ghost, ironically, were supposed to have like a kinship because they kind of have similar backgrounds.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be both of them were taken. They were robbed of their childhoods when they were young.
So that would have
They
been
grew
like
up in labs and stuff like that. So that would have been their way of connecting.
yeah, and they were supposed to have like kind of like a friendship and everything else.
And Taskmaster was supposed to basically, because you know how Taskmaster's in and out of it in her head and stuff. Taskmaster would constantly try to kill John and Yelena while they're doing their mission, or while throughout the whole movie, and they would have to constantly remind her, "Hey, no, don't do that. We're on the same team and stuff."
I feel like
That sounds. I don't know. Go
And
ahead.
it feels like a lot.
No,
It
and then there
does.
was another draft where John Walker was supposed to be the villain.
Yes.
And he was supposed to
I
be
heard about that,
taking
yeah.
he was supposed to be taking gamma radiation, little bits of gamma radiation, so he would be like thickening up each time, and by the end of the movie he was supposed to be a giant hulkling monster.
Do you think he's like injecting in the butt?
No,
or
it's just
in the arm?
probably injections in the arm and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
And
I
he's
think
just inhaling some green dust. He's like, "Don't
well,
mind me, America."
apparently what the way that they were going to tag it was that his super soldier serum was wearing off.
Yeah.
And he had to keep taking the injections in order to keep the serum going. But in reality, they were injecting him with gamma radiation and turning him into a hulkling. I don't like that.
No,
neither do I.
one
I'm
of
glad,
the
I'm glad they didn't do any of that stuff.
No, that's
because
the
all
thing.
that
Any of
stuff
those
sounds effing
other
lame.
concepts just sound
The
weird.
other-
There was another one. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
Baron Zemo and Kang were originally inside of
The
these.
Zemo one
that's
sounds interesting because if they revealed him as to be like the one pulling the strings behind everything, then that would be
I
an
don't-
easier segue into
I don't know where
society.
Kang would have shown up.
Yeah, I
That's a
don't
weird
know.
one.
Like,
Well, Kang's was supposed to tie into this. That's the thing. That was probably one of the earlier ones where we got to put Kang connection in all the movies.
Because that was
and
my
stuff.
thing of like when they first announced Kang, and Kang was the first villain inside of what was it, multiverse or not multiverse in Ant-Man 3. What I originally thought for the Kang, Quantumanium, I thought that Kang was going to be the villain in every single movie going forward.
I thought so too.
Well,
No,
we're
it
just
was
gonna
supposed to.
Yeah,
It
we're
was-
just going to keep getting Kang variants over and over and over again.
But Disney didn't foresee the sad, dark future of that man.
Of Jonathan Majors? Yeah. Well, that's
That's the thing. You don't really know what happens behind.
I
closed
feel
doors.
no, but you know what? I do feel that is the mistake of like going
the
like
studio. They shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket.
because I feel like the thing that they shouldn't have done is they shouldn't be so strict on we can't recast
Mm-hmm.
because there's plenty of actors that we could have
Yeah.
just replaced Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
As
I don't know
mu-
why
as-
that's such a problem of recasting. Like that's like the biggest no to say around Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
But
Apparently,
they did it in Iron Man. They changed Rhodey.
Well, and that's the thing.
well, that
though,
was before Disney
that was
obtained it.
that was
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
because they obtained it
True.
around 2011.
when they did it with Hulk.
Yeah, where they know. Yeah, 2011. It was after. It was before. It was like right before Captain America: First Avenger. It was after
It's-
Thor
Dark World.
and Captain America:
But
First Avenger.
but that's what I mean though is
Yeah.
that they recast Hulk
Yes.
right before for Avengers.
Because was it
Edward
Edward
Norton.
Norton had a falling out with
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah, him and Feige had a falling out.
Mhm.
But anyway, I think that all the other variations of it they're interesting to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happier with what we got.
Same.
I think because even everything that I've like heard so far, I
Mhm.
haven't been like, dang, I really wish we would have seen that, or
Mhm.
oh, that would have been interesting. I'm just kind of like, oh no, those are all like they're interesting takes,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it would have that movie would have worked out as well
Mhm.
as this one.
Not at all. Another thing we were talking about before the show was that they did had to recast one person before this movie was because of Steven Yeun. Because he
Yes.
was originally supposed to be Bob /
So-
Sentry.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know
Yeah.
who Steven Yeun is, Steven Yeun plays Mark Grayson inside of
Mhm.
Invincible. He
Yeah.
voices
He's Glenn from Walking Dead.
He's also
also
Glenn.
Glenn from
He's
Walking
also
Dead.
Glenn from
Immediately
Walking
should
Dead.
pop in.
He's
You
also
guys
He's
got
al-
a picture
He's
of
also
him.
yeah, which also that makes a lot more sense how he got cast because a
Yeah.
lot of them worked on Beef.
Yes, Beef and also Minra.
Yes,
yeah.
which is
Minra?
Yeah, that's a movie he did for A24.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he worked with a lot of the crew in
Yeah.
24
Mhm.
movies.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he got cast
Mm-hmm.
because they were like, well,
like
let's
why
get
he
Steven.
got considered. Yeah.
Yeah, like why he got considered because they'd already worked with him and they
He's
loved
easy
him.
to
and-
work with.
Yeah, he's easy to work with, and then Robert Kirkman spoiled that
Mm-hmm.
in an interview because
did, yeah.
Robert Kirkman was being interviewed, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, like I was on the phone yesterday with Steven Yeun, and he was like, I just got out of a fitting for Thunderbolts. I'm gonna be Sentry.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's I told him it's gonna be super cool, and he's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I didn't sign anything.
Right. They don't have to call me. Like,
I was like, dude,
I'm not
that's
gonna get that
hilarious.
call. Like,
I'm like, that's so funny that
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman's just like, what are they gonna do? Sue
Throw
me?
him under the bus. What are you gonna do? Recast him?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was originally supposed to be Bob, which I was watching the movie and I'm like, well, because I watched it the second time with Mandy, and I'm thinking of that while watching the certain scenes with him as Sentry and the Void, and I feel like Steven's voice would have been really cool as the Void.
That because you can kind of hear it in Invincible
Yeah.
when he's like Dark Mark.
Yeah,
Dark Mark.
Yeah,
just
Dark
the
Mark.
cold calmness. Of
Yeah, the
it.
cold
Yeah.
calmness of it. I do feel that that would have been a vastly different take
Mm-hmm.
on the Void.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's really interesting to have Bill Pullman's son,
Mm-hmm.
where it's Bill Pullman's son and Kurt
Yeah.
Russell's son, where
Mhm.
they're both inside the same movie. Where it's
Yeah.
like the old action stars are their sons are now
Yes,
inside of
yeah.
action movies.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yeah, so that's really sick. But yeah,
Passing of the torch.
a nice little passing of the torch.
Mhm.
I'm really digging Thunderbolts. I love the way that they're doing their media, their whole like marketing thing right now.
Oh
where
yeah.
I do. I'm. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the whole like
the change up of the title?
the change up of the title of
Yeah,
going of
awesome.
spoiling the end?
A week after the movie came out?
I feel like they should have waited at least a little bit more. Like
I feel like
it was a few days.
I feel like they should have followed the margin of no spoilers on social media for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because
2 weeks. You have enough time within 2 weeks.
I feel
Yeah.
like that. I feel like with it only being out for like a week and a half,
Yeah.
really, and then immediately going like they're the new Avengers.
They
Like I
wanted
was
to
kind
beat,
of like
they wanted to beat the critics and the YouTubers and everyone to the punch
that's the hard thing.
before anyone
Yeah.
could really say it before
was-
they
it was
could.
smart 'cause
And I get that.
They did it on on a Monday?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Monday. It was
On
on
Monday?
Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Monday after the movie came out, they had the video where Sebastian Stan
Yeah.
is walking around and he's putting new posters up
Yeah.
over the original posters,
Mhm.
and it has the thing ripped and it says the new Avengers,
Mhm.
and I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's what the hashtag, and that's what the the mark was.
Yeah.
The
So,
asterisk.
The asterisk.
Yeah.
Asterisk. Yeah.
That everybody was like, "What does that mean?"
What does that mean?
I was like, I wonder where they're gonna go with this, and we saw it on the Wheaties box too.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they kept the Wheatie box promotional stuff in the AMC,
Oh,
because when we
yeah.
went to go see it, it was
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
It was gone.
know
I'm
what?
like,
That's
that should have
true.
stayed there.
You know what's
And I
funny?
was like, what was the point of the Wheaties box when we were coming? I forgot what movie we saw.
You know what? And I feel is a wasted opportunity. That should have been the popcorn bucket.
The Wheaties
It
box.
should have been a Wheaties
Yeah.
box. I feel like why not?
Yeah.
Why not make it the
Make
Wheaties
it the same
box?
size as like one of those Disneyland popcorn buckets.
Yeah,
like
just make
those
it a
the square ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it kind of like a jumbo
Yeah.
size Wheaties box, and then you just go, that's your popcorn bucket. It's super easy. It's just a box.
Yeah.
But it looks like a Wheaties box.
I
That
would have loved that.
They probably would have charged us
Hire me.
45 for that. Yeah.
hire me,
Nah, full 50.
hire
So,
me.
full 50
This-
right
my
there.
idea was cheaper than yours.
Right?
Mine would have been some
Because
metal.
it's right there. It
It's-
was staring at you in the face.
That was your entire marketing campaign was a Wheaties box.
Yeah.
And then you went,
With a little idiot toy.
yeah. That would have been so funny.
You get a
if-
random one.
If you would have gotten a toy
Yeah.
inside of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
the
thinking
little.
think of like little monkeys, the barrel of monkeys, how they're kind of positioned, and you can just hang it off the side.
Yeah,
of
that
the-
would've been
of the
funny.
box while you eat,
Hire us.
and you can a prize
Immediately.
inside. You know.
Mhm.
Immediately, that's a better idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys.
Even our listeners are mad that
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
exist.
confused.
Like,
That's a better box.
Yeah.
That's a better popcorn bucket
probably cheaper.
to
What did
make.
you- What did you have also for comic strips? You had pulled up something earlier that you wanted to bring up.
Can you look up which one? Oh my god. There was Spider-Man Brand New Day news.
Oh, okay.
It was that I forget the actress's name. From look up the bear
Oh,
the bear
yes.
actress.
The bear actress.
She was in SNL.
She
Yeah, she was.
was she in SNL?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was some, as you can tell, we had nothing.
Yeah.
we were all
It
talking.
was a quiet week after
Yeah.
Thunderbolts because Thunderbolts
What's her name?
overshadowed
It's all the way
everything.
at the top. There it is.
Her.
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking of this. I said sister, and you said yes.
Sorry,
So I was thinking
no.
she's from SNL.
No. Yes. Sorry.
Pay attention.
Sorry. I listened to like 30% of what you say.
What was that?
So Liza Zayas from Bear fame has been cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The interesting thing is that, for one, she's a great actress.
Yes.
If anybody's ever seen The Bear, she is the Puerto Rican actress that is inside of the bear that pays.
What else has she been in though?
Well,
Primary,
she's been in, I mean, she's known for that, but she's actually been around. She's been acting for a while.
but her
It's just the bear.
her biggest
What's her
thing-
breakout? role?
yeah.
That's like
I
her
see.
biggest thing.
That's where everyone knew about.
Yeah, a lot of her
Ah.
stuff has been like smaller roles,
Mhm.
background roles, and the Bear is really where she kind of broke out.
I mean, I'm assuming she's probably in like a couple of like Law and Order, Grey Anatomies, where she
that-
always plays like the mom,
that-
or she
that-
plays
That's unfair.
a victim.
You literally say anybody, and they are either in Law and Order or SVU.
yeah,
or
or
NCIS,
Grey's Anatomy, yeah.
or Grey's Anatomy,
Yeah.
or most likely Gilmore Girls. Because now that I'm watching Gilmore Girls,
You're
I'm like,
seeing
what?
more people.
I'm like, what are they doing
That
here?
and you know what? Me and
Shameless
Mandy,
too?
No, we're seeing a lot of rookie
Yes.
actors in Shameless.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was tripping out the day that I saw Robbie Amell,
Yeah.
or not Robbie Amell, Robbie Malek.
Robbie Malek.
When
Oh,
Robbie Malek is in an
yeah.
episode of Gilmore Girls, and I'm going like, what is Robbie Malek doing in this show? And
He's
then
he's trying to earn that bread.
yeah, and then Monica's like, who's Robbie Malek? And I'm like, him.
Yeah.
That guy right there. He's
Bohemian Rhapsody.
He's
Like-
Bohemian Rhapsody. And then she's like, oh, like, is he famous? And I'm like, he's huge. He's
Is he famous? Like,
he's super famous now.
Okay.
He was a Bond villain.
He was a Bond villain. He was.
He's a Bond villain.
He was the Pharaoh from the night at the museum.
Yeah, he was the Pharaoh at Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
He's also from, oh my God, what's the hacking show? I can't remember.
Oh, Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. Yeah, that's kind of where his breakout role was, Mr. Robot.
Yeah, that's where he
Yeah.
got more rendition.
But anyway, back to the bear actress. The biggest news about that is because she's a Puerto Rican woman, older, in her 40s, and people are saying that this is an interesting casting news because it is believed that she may be playing Mrs. Morales.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Which
she could do it.
totally makes sense. I think which I think is going to be interesting if we have a Miles
I don't know how I feel about that.
having a Miles so soon.
Yeah, soon is weird to say
It's a
because
relative term.
it's been like how many years have we had Spider-Man on the screen?
Yeah.
You know, but for Marvel, not for Fox. Okay.
Yeah. When I say soon, I mean so soon in this new Spider-Man's career.
Yeah.
Well, the seed was planted in Homecoming.
Yes.
With the Prowler.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was something they just wanted to kind of like throw in there and stuff, and I've always been waiting for that because I know that reaching so far into the MCU and having Peter Parker Spider-Man for so long, because now we're having this like full part in the Spider-Man universe now where it's like, okay, cool, this is like day one Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they're kind of like showing the precursors of a successor so soon, but I'm kind of interested to see how they'll tell that story. So far, Marvel hasn't disappointed me when it came to revealing the successor so soon and stuff like that.
I hope it's not a successor. I hope Miles doesn't become the successor to Spider-Man because I still want more Tom Holland being Spider-Man.
Well, that is the weird thing though, is because we just rebooted Tom Holland in the last movie.
Homecoming.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
In No Way Home, you just kind of rebooted him,
Home.
and
Home.
they all have home in it.
Yeah.
But there's
Now he has no home.
Yeah, now he has no home.
No home.
But you just
Phone
kind of
home?
rebooted him, and that'd be really weird to kind of kill him off or to kind of send him off into the sunset. Kind of go. I wouldn't mind if by the end of Brand New Day, we have some kind of situation. There has to be something where Peter is doing something else, and that puts Miles in the situation of you are the protector of Queens or in New York.
I don't want him to go off planet. I don't want him to go into space.
No, but
I think.
no,
he's gonna have to do that in Secret Wars, regardless.
Because if you introduce Miles, no matter what, he's gonna have to pop up in Secret Wars.
But the thing is that when it comes to Spider-Man and Doom and the Avengers Doomsday, we're not gonna have Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday. Tom Holland's not in that movie. He's
apparently
Brand New Day is going to take place during what the events are happening.
Yes.
In Avengers Doomsday.
Okay.
So whatever Peter's doing, Avengers Doomsday is happening at the same time as well.
So Doomsday is going to happen, which I'm assuming in Doomsday that's when they're going to make Battleworld.
Yes.
And then at the end of that, Battleworld is going to be assembled, which is probably going to have a post-credit scene to whatever's happening in Doomsday. I mean, inside of Brand New Day. And then Brand New Day is going to fill in Peter's kind of interaction leading into the next.
Which I hope they
movie.
also address what Peter's been doing during like Born Again, and then during Thunderbolts. Like if they just kind of reveal,
and Daredevil,
reveal or just mention what Peter's been doing during that time, that'd be great because that's like the biggest question within fans.
What if he's
where's Spider-Man? Huh?
What if he's having a Toby moment from the third Spider-Man where he sees all this crime going on and he's just going about his day eating his hot dog?
You know what? I actually wouldn't mind it if he's on the road. Because I think it'd be interesting if he did get because now he's a freelancer. Like nobody knows who he is.
Like,
he's being a freelance photographer. And because you can easily say Spider-Man was in San Francisco during the time of Thunderbolts. It only happened within like 20, 30 minutes, maybe, give or take, maybe a couple hours. If he was all the way in San Francisco across the country doing something else.
Well, he's supposed to be getting the black suit at this point in the movie, or in the movie
in Brand New Day.
He's supposed to be getting it, so maybe he goes to Mexico,
Could be.
where Eddie was last before he got sucked up back into
Well,
after No Way Home because he left that little piece there.
Yeah.
But remember they then
That was a different.
They
That
put
was
a
a different universe.
that was
when
and
he
they
went
also
back to
put a
his
glass on it
when he
too.
went back to his old universe, they did that.
Yeah, some
We don't know
captured
what
it.
happened when he was in
I don't know.
616.
That whole Eddie Brock thing is,
These
so
timelines
wonky.
Yeah.
and
That's so
everything.
wonky, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's the mistake that we're doing in Marvel is that we
Yeah.
have no idea what's going
Yeah,
on.
we're having to
what the
think too
timeline is?
hard
Yeah.
to figure out the premise, and that's not a good movie.
Well,
that's not a good
and-
franchise.
And that's
for
the
me.
thing, though, is that because I mentioned it during Thunderbolts too, is I
Mhm.
was like, what is everyone doing? Like, what's Doctor Strange? That's the weirdest part
Yeah.
about any
Because Doctor
Marvel
Strange
movie.
is not going to be in this one either, or not in Avengers Doomsday.
But
in
it's
the comics, they're not always there either, though.
But-
Now
but-
that I think about it, you know,
But they're not always there. But the thing is that there's an explanation of like what they're doing in their comic book.
Yeah.
So like, oh, during this time, Doctor Strange is in the multiverse, or he's fighting Dormammu in his own, or he's
Yeah.
dealing with demons
Yeah.
that he
'Cause-
can't really
Because
deal
in
with what's
Multiverse
going
of
on.
Madness, what is it? Cleo came out and came to him and said, "There's an incursion happening."
There's an incursion happening.
Yeah.
Come with me, and we
Mhm.
don't necessarily know how far into the future
Yeah.
that was after
That's
the
true.
events.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing is
Mhm.
with the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Saga,
Mhm.
there was a very clear timeline.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore.
No, it's kind of jumping
No.
around.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and what screwed that up was Endgame doing that whole time jump, and then
The
now
5
we-
years?
Yeah, and because now we don't know what time frame
no.
we are with
Well,
it and stuff like that.
I feel like the time jump wouldn't have been bad. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the problem was is that we did the time jump and then we didn't, and then we had so many titles that either took place at different times. And I
Yeah.
feel like honestly, Black Widow was the first thing that really like started hurting that because they were playing with time, going
Yeah.
okay,
But
cool.
it takes place after Civil War, but before Infinity War.
Yeah, it's like it's this like middle story,
Yeah.
and then we were going okay, cool, but and then Shang-Chi takes place sometime after Infinity War, but it's also not super far ahead because
It's
Hulk
2
is still.
years, I think. I
Yeah.
think it's 2 years after the blip,
'Cause-
and
but-
everyone came back.
But Hulk
That's where
is
Shang-Chi.
but Hulk is dealing with his arm still, and he's now Banner again. So we don't really know what's going on.
You know
and
well,
then
they explained that they tried to explain that in She-Hulk. That's why.
and then they try to explain
Yeah.
it in She-Hulk, but they didn't really do a very firm
They,
job
didn't,
of
they
like,
didn't clean it up.
yeah, and then She-Hulk then made it where Matt Murdock is.
Well,
And are they dating
that's the-
still in
that's the
Daredevil?
No, they're not.
That's the thing is that Shang-Chi after credit scene never never had a follow-up after that.
And that's the thing, though, is that
And then Marvel's been doing that lately.
What was
That's
the end
thing.
credit follow
it
for
was
Shang-Chi?
the 10
Oh,
rings are calling out.
Yeah,
to
the 10
multiverse.
rings. Yeah,
Ah.
and it was supposed to lead up to Kang. But again, that happened. The whole Jonathan Majors.
I
thing
thought it was
happened.
going to be Mandarin. To be honest, now that you said that,
Mhm.
I was thinking it was going to be.
Well,
the
no, because
Mandarin.
remember
like the legit Mandarin.
he
or
was
a-
well technically his dad was the Mandarin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was technically
He was the Mandarin,
and they
but they're-
changed the 10
yeah.
rings from
Mhm.
being like all magical rings to him being like kung fu rings,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave him to Shang-Chi. It's weird.
It is. Yeah, that's the thing. And again, that's something they never did a follow up to Shang-Chi again. That's a thing.
Yeah.
And or they never did a continuation of like, we're gonna have Shang-Chi in this movie to kind of like show the fans where he's at.
And
right
I do
now.
feel
Yeah.
like that's also a failure too in Born Again,
Mhm.
because Born Again doesn't really talk about when the blimp happened. Because I feel
Mhm.
like everybody uses the blip as like a point of reference. Like
Mhm.
we know how many years have passed because everybody goes, it's been so many years since the blip. And then it's like, okay, cool. So I know where to put this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they never mention the blip. They
Mhm.
never mention anything else. And you're kind of like, okay. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on here.
I wonder what's going to be their term for the events in Thunderbolts.
Well, because that's the other thing too, is that you also have
The
Kate Bishop.
blackout? Huh? Oh yeah.
You also have Kate Bishop, who
Mhm.
technically her stepdad is kidnapped right now by Wilson Fisk,
Yeah.
and she's not getting involved.
Mm-mm.
But that also comes with the fact that season 2 of Hawkeye got
Mhm.
postponed
Yeah.
because Jeremy Renner didn't want to do it.
No, because they're offering half his
half his wage.
which
which
is,
is-
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Because you do that because that's so disrespectful because you're doing
Yeah.
that to an actor that's been around and willing to come back and do these projects, but also you're doing it you're also asking him to come back and do physical work where he just had major surgery on his leg after getting run over.
No.
Yeah.
He's had full body surgery.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The snow ski.
The snow plow.
Yeah. So you would think he had major surgery, so we gotta keep our toes on him. You know, we gotta make sure he's comfortable, he's happy, and he's compensated and stuff. No, we're just gonna cut half his wages and hope that he can come back.
And that was why he said he didn't take it, because he was like, even if I'm not that much into the show, he goes, I asked for the same amount.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for more. I didn't ask for anything different.
Yeah.
I just said, give me the same thing you gave me for the last one, and I'm fine. And
so I wonder if we're ever going to see Jeremy Renner ever come back.
Well, that was the thing, though, is he said, I'm still willing to do it. And he even said, too, it's not a Marvel thing. It was a Disney thing. He goes, the people at Marvel were fighting for me to get my wage.
Yeah.
Disney and them, they were the ones that were saying, no,
That's
this is how much you pay
Disney
him.
sucks, man.
Well, lower all the prices at Disneyland then. Gosh, to save some money there.
There was a guy
they're a
who took
corporation,
his
dude.
family to Disneyland, and in that whole day, him and his 4 family, they spent roughly $2,000. $2,000. They got some food items here and there. It just, when I was hearing it, they didn't do any shopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
They didn't
just
do
food?
shopping. It was just like food.
Oh, wait, is it food and
drinks,
tickets?
and tickets.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Tickets will do it.
Yeah, the tickets alone were $987,
Only?
and that's with the lightning lane. And they had
was this before the
this was something recently that I had
Oh,
seen, and I was like, oh my god.
He bought Lightning Lane?
Yeah.
I thought
$30. When I heard $30 a person.
Yeah.
For that. Is stupid.
And it's
what happened? No. Wait, what happened when we could just press the button and the ticket comes out for us and like, hey, this is this is my time when I have to go.
Because that's
okay.
free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
And
was free.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like,
charged.
why is it that us as consumers and as people are just not doing anything and being like, okay, thank you.
Why?
Let me have another.
Well, that's the whole reason why I hate Disney adults.
People bitch and moan about everything, yet they don't bitch about it when it impacts their wallets. They're like, okay, I'm a Disney adult and I love it. Thank you.
I complain about this for Nintendo. Video
Speaking of Nintendo, I got
games.
something for you in a little bit.
I know, but I'm just saying we keep on asking for another. Like, thank you, Daddy, for spanking me.
No.
Please give me another.
No.
Spit in my mouth and call me a dirty little
No, go
princess.
car bomb
Wheel
them or
must be
something.
broken.
No, what's
Yeah,
wrong with you?
Molotov
No, that's-
cocktails, the Magic Castle.
No.
Let's see Rapunzel's
Come
hair
on,
burn.
Pookie, let's burn this mother down.
but that's the thing though, is that prices have gotten. Me and Monica already decided we're not.
Oh, you told me, yeah, you guys.
We're not.
Yeah,
We're not.
you
We're
guys
not
are
doing
done
it
with
again.
Disney.
We're done with Disney.
Yeah.
Monica is upset because she pays for the second highest tier.
Yeah, and she has so many blackout dates compared to yours. What's the point?
Even then, she's been blacked out for 2 months.
Yeah.
See?
She's been basically blacked out for 2 months. The
But
first
still had
time,
to pay it.
And that's
another
2
thing,
months that
yeah.
she just paid. Yeah.
And it's not like, oh yeah, because you have these blackout this month where you're all blacked out, we're not going to charge you.
You would think that would be a smart thing. You're like, oh, okay, so you're not, because Mandy gets the lowest one.
Yeah.
So she's, when it comes to from basically when it's starting at this point in May, she's blacked out until September.
Yeah.
So she can't go to the summer at all.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, but she still pays for it. And
Yeah.
It's just like,
Disney's hurting for money, yet they increase the ticket prices.
They're not.
They are.
No.
Disney is.
I feel like no matter what, when it
They
comes
haven't
to
recovered from COVID.
nobody's recovered from COVID.
Well,
But
you would think Disney,
you-
one of the biggest entities in the entertainment market globally as well, would have bounced back 5 years prior
Well,
from COVID.
There's a huge difference too, because
If Amazon could do it, I mean,
Amazon bounced back super fast, but also
Yeah.
Amazon boomed during COVID. I think Amazon is one of the
so
business.
did Disney, surprisingly,
Amazon.
because
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were still going
DoorDash.
in the heat of COVID.
Yeah, I know,
People
I
were
went.
still going to Disney.
I
You
went.
see? So,
I
like-
because I had a pass. So
Yeah.
I had one of the when they first started doing the reservations.
Yeah.
And then I went. I think I went the weekend before shutdown. Like
George,
literally. it was
Let
like
me
the week
ask you
before.
this: during shutdown, did you guys order out a lot?
No.
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 I made a lot. I
No.
made a lot of food inside.
Oh
Yeah,
really? No, me and Maddie, we ordered a lot
We
of
would
food.
we would spray the grocery bags with
Mhm.
Lysol. We would leave them at the door after
Yeah.
we were done. Washed our hands, went back out, sprayed them with Lysol.
Yeah, that was like a huge time where
Hated
we
that
all were
song
just
and dance.
yeah, where we would order stuff on Amazon
Mhm.
or order stuff on Instacart, basically.
Yeah.
Because it was easier to do that than actually go to the market.
Mm-hmm.
Because we did it one time where we went to Big Bear during COVID, and we had all gotten tested. And me and a bunch of friends were like, "Okay, cool, we're all good. We all
Yeah.
tested.
Yeah.
Everybody's clear. Let's go to Big Bear."
Mm-hmm.
We all went to Big Bear. Big Bear is a no mask kind of country, kind of city. And
Brightwood is too, which is not too far from over there, but
yeah.
it's pretty,
So
pretty dope spot.
so I thought
Yeah.
it was funny though because we walked in. We're wearing N95s, and we walk in. Nobody is wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And this is the height of COVID.
Yeah.
And then my buddy is like, "Oh, we didn't bring any groceries. Like the
You
whole
need to go to
point
the
was
store."
we have to go to this store. It's the
Yeah.
only store in like 5 miles."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "All right, man, let's do this." So I went to the car. We had gloves on. We had masks. And I go, "All right, there's 5 of us. You go get beer. You go get meat. You go get vegetables. I'll go get cereal. We'll meet at you stand in line. Ready, break." And then we all split up and grabbed what we needed
Yeah.
and met back in line going like, "We're in, we're out. Let's get the heck out of here."
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the way that we did it and everything
Yeah.
else.
That's how it was when after COVID, when me and my friends went to because my buddy owns a cabin in Utah,
Cool.
up in the mountains and stuff like that. Is a place called Duck Creek, and
Is that where he commits his murders?
yes,
Okay.
and so it was funny because we had to stop in town, which is near like Amish country.
Oh
okay.
boy.
It's like near it.
Mhm.
So it was funny because Mandy being Mandy, she likes to show off her flair and stuff like that and stuff because she always has like a theme. She always likes to come with a theme.
Mhm.
So on the way to Utah, she basically went with pride. She wore all her rainbow and all her pride stuff. So we go into Walmart right before the cabin in Utah, mind you. So me and my friends all have our masks on, but it's again the same situation. The whole Walmart, no one gives a crap. Because everyone's just white. Like, everyone's white over there.
White.
Yeah, and there's
Oh,
like
so not white. White.
It's white bread, and so that it was just funny because Mandy was getting looks. People kept looking at her and stuff like that because she was showing pride and stuff like that. So it's a very conservative town that we were
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Mind you, that's why I mentioned the Amish.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Amish people looking around and stuff like that. It was funny because Mandy got one compliment, and it was from a person of that community as well too.
From
You
an
could say,
Amish?
No, from the
that's cool.
LGBTQ community. Said, "I love your outfit." And she's, "Oh, thank you, honey." And it's so funny. And it's just like one, and the rest is like that. And I'm just like, it sucks. Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, for Disney, we're done. We're going to Universal.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Universal
Yeah,
instead.
with
The
the
one-
Epic Verse.
The
Because Epic Verse is coming out.
They
It's
had
a
the
lot more
One Piece
focus-
one, and they had the voice cast for that. So apparently, one of the people who work at my school, they got their VIP tickets, and they said to hell with the experience because apparently that VIP ticket for Universal didn't get them to the front of the line for the One Piece voice casting.
Dang.
So they're like, you know what, deuces, we're leaving, and they waited in line the entire time to
The
get
one
their
thing,
stuff signed.
So
Yeah.
the one thing that we liked about, because as I've been following up on like what do I get if I get the, because you know me, I'm like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
The thing
What
I
are the
really liked,
perks?
yeah, like
Yeah.
what are my
Yeah.
perks?
Yeah.
What can I abuse? I immediately liked the idea of like those fan nights. They come with the pass.
Yeah.
Like you can actually attend the fan nights, and there is no blackout nights.
From
or
what
anything
I've
like
heard, fan nights or is it fan fest or something?
Yeah.
that. Yeah, fan fest.
Fan fest. I hear fan fests is so much better than After Dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Like
They
you get
do
your
a
money's
whole
worth.
Production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DVD one.
you get your money's worth in fan fest than opposed to After Dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like each section of the park is like themed in a specific thing.
Yeah.
They have like full on sets they've built. Like apparently they built the Going Merry
Oh, really?
Like they apparently had built the Going Merry
Yeah.
for
I
One
heard the
Piece.
JJK one, the Jujutsu Kaisen one, was sad and pathetic. Because they went into that one, and it's just like this cardboard cutout kind of in front of where the Shrek 4D experience was. And then it was just like a moving kind of ride that they got from Japan over there of JJK, and
That was it.
that was it. And I was like,
yeah.
oh man,
You know what?
that's a bust.
Well, the thing is that I feel they're doing better at trying to like make things cooler, because I also
Yeah.
really enjoy the fact that Horror Nights is actually in your pass, because that's what Justin was telling me. Because he has Universal. He goes, oh, I get Horror Nights though.
Oh, nice.
Like I can go to Horror Nights. It's not a separate ticket or anything
Yeah.
like that. I get Horror Nights, and I was like, oh, dude, that's sick. And so, because he goes every year to Horror Nights, and I'm like, oh, how much is that? And he goes, I think he said it was like an extra $50, but instead of it being like a $150 ticket like Disney for any of their events, he goes, you just go and everything else. So I was like,
I might look into that. For
Universal sounds really cool, and it's a lot more of like movies and everything else, which Monica was like, she can kind of get more behind, because whenever we're in Disneyland, she's like, I don't care about any of this.
It's not only that, and then you have just like great actors that just take that whole like thing are really cool. You know, all the people that dress up as characters and stuff. They make the experience fun, regardless if you don't know what the theme is or not.
I'm really hoping that they bring the Donkey Kong ride from Japan.
Yeah, same.
That
That
one
looks really cool.
That one
yeah,
looks really cool.
yeah.
Those
The,
look really
the Donkey
cool.
Kong Country that they did.
Yeah,
I am
the cart
surprised how
jumps.
fast they built it, because when the announcement came out, to like I think
Oh, it's-
3 months later, hey, here's us like getting the food from the park and on the ride. I was like,
This isn't like a race thing, but they're Japanese.
Not
They're very efficient.
technology is very advanced over there. But
they live in the future.
they do.
but
They
even
do.
but even the animatronics in Frankenstein's castle is really
Oh
my
my
God,
god,
it's
blown
insane.
away,
flawless,
dude.
flawless.
Yeah,
For a second, I thought it was just CGI, and I was
No.
like,
Yeah.
no,
That's animatronics.
that's all
That
animatronics.
Frankenstein, and like the way his
So
face is
graceful
so
too. The way they move, it doesn't look like this.
It's not.
It's
stiff,
like-
Which is
like-
weird,
Yeah.
because Disney used to be like the champion of like animatronics.
Yeah.
Where they were like,
They got complacent. They got
Yeah,
lazy.
It was like
you can't.
hold my beer.
yeah, Universal's like, wait. We let you guys cook long
I
enough.
feel like Universal is the dude with like a huge joint just going. I got an idea.
I got.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's. I got it. He's like,
They're not the only one that make movies. We can do
Yeah.
this.
we make good movies.
I'm excited to.
Yeah.
I really want to ride the new
Donkey
Fast.
Kong?
No, Fast and the Furious ride.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Have you seen the Fast and the Furious
I have.
coaster? Where it loops around the escalator?
Mm-hmm.
That looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to spit off that thing. To ride it and then just go,
crash out.
and then just as somebody's going up the escalator, just go, oh, what the hell?
I really hope they have like a barrier,
burp.
because it would be so freaking stupid if they did not have something separating the people on the ride from the people going up the escalator.
There's like a glass.
Thank
that-
God,
there's
because
like
if there wasn't,
There's like a glass that goes down.
people lose phones, and if a phone is
Oh my
Dude,
God,
I'm
that-
not even thinking like something crazy,
Yeah.
like the ride falls. No, just a freaking phone
Dude, a
will like
vape.
knock you out.
Dude, a vape.
Oh yeah,
Oh, a
You
vape.
could kill somebody with that
hit
vape.
you on the side of the
Coins.
temple, you're out.
Dude, you're dead. Have you felt some of those vapes, dude?
Mhm.
Dude, they're weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
Mhm.
I can't wait till somebody vomits on it.
Yeah.
Just a rain of vomit. Just
Get the squeegee. Just this really
Call for-
obnoxious.
It's like a long trail.
so somebody call Phil. Just see him just like, oh, I hate this job. I hate this job so much.
Bird. Like
Yeah.
bird crap.
Yeah. One last thing.
Yeah.
Palworld had to remove game
That's-
features because of Nintendo lawsuit. We did talk
That is-
about this
Really?
many,
Yes.
many issues ago.
Palworld,
I'm
yes.
not gonna go back and look for it.
No, yeah. Palworld and Nintendo have been
Yes.
in this like lawsuit
Lawsuit.
battle for
It was
for
really
months,
weird
almost a
because
year now.
Nintendo had a hard time getting a footing legally because of the just how the Japanese game production studios work.
Yes.
And it shows how terrible, how evil, how money hungry Nintendo is. If you love Nintendo, I liked Nintendo. I don't like Nintendo anymore because I think Nintendo sucks because they're draining money from us and they're putting small developers, indie developers in their place. And seeing this is like the first case of the big man really stepping on the little guy because they felt threatened. They felt their lunch was threatened, and now they coined the thing of you throwing a ball in the game to summon something. They have that trademarked. If you are riding a creature to glide, they trademark that as well.
So, if you're riding
you have to have a glider now
so
in the game.
Yeah, in a video game,
fly.
you can no longer ride a creature that you've summoned from a ball as like a mode of transportation because that is something that that Pokemon started, which
is dumb. Okay,
it's no matter
you
what.
can't trademark something of a simple action just because they have QuickTime events doesn't mean the first video game that invented a QuickTime event is going to be like, yeah, only we can have this in a game, and every other game that tries to have a QuickTime event, we're going to sue you.
I feel like that's
stupid.
That's like if Sony would have trademarked QuickTime events for God of War. And then
or the Order 1980 or the Order 1885, which was like this flagship game that was going to be on the PlayStation 4, and then it was just all cutscenes, but it was them
all
showing
just
off.
Cutscene,
or the which are the
like an hour and a half game.
What is it? Or the
any new Metal Gear, Death Stranding, anything that has QuickTime events, dude. Even mobile mini games, you can't allow that to be okay.
And that's the thing, though, is that it does set up a slippery slope.
You're taking away creativity.
Well,
you're hindering it.
It's not just that you're taking away creativity. It's a slippery slope for developers now.
Yeah.
And studios. Because
I wouldn't want to develop a game. If I had an idea for a game, I wouldn't want to develop it in this day and age. Well, because
studios, if we're famous for something, I'm pretty sure they're going to want to, like, cool. This is our
studios do.
This is what we're gonna try and trademark it. And that was the thing. But the thing is that there was never a standing in the law that could benefit them and say like, oh yeah, we can trademark this or do anything else. Now that there is something in the law and you're able to do that with Pokemon and Nintendo trademarking, catching a creature with a ball, and then also which I think would be so funny. I would.
And they're
love
called
it.
a sphere.
I think
in the game.
I think it'd be super funny because it's a ball. I would love it if Palworld just turned it into a box.
Right.
If they just turned, because it specifically says that you can't summon a creature with a sphere. So what if you summon a creature with like a cube, and just go? It's a cube. It's not a box.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a sphere.
Yeah, it's a box.
It's a box. So because I can totally see them doing that. Or they just get or instead of getting summoned through that, they just get summoned through your belt. Like instead of you throwing the ball, they just summon through your belt now. And that's it. Yeah, it's really silly. Pokemon
it's scary. It feels very dystopian to me.
No, I wouldn't say dystopian.
It does because it's a corporation,
right,
a
relax.
Well, I mean,
he's on his soapbox.
Yeah, I'm on my soapbox right now. You had your time, now I have mine.
Senator,
I'm reclaiming my time. Senator, I'm reclaiming my time.
Listen,
the fact that it's a corporation.
I'm Marjorie Taylor Greene here. Let's do
you
this.
are. You ugly, blonde, butch, built body bitch. That's you.
You love editing this episode, don't you?
Oh yeah.
This is just bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, you
anyway,
can say those. We've said them before.
Yeah.
And haven't bleeped them.
No, but
It's messed up.
I do see that it's messed up. I do see that it's going to lead to other things, and I'm interested. It's going to be kind of weird to see what other studios are able to pull off now, where it comes to trademarking.
Yeah,
I'm not.
It kind of opens the floodgates now.
It does
in a very sticky situation legally.
Yeah. Who knows what people are going to do? Because what about if somebody trademarks a first-person shooter, or like you're
Yeah.
not able. Like, what if Epic or
Call
Microsoft?
of Duty only can make World War II games
No,
and fighting games.
I think it'd be interesting if you were like, I don't think it's that general, but I think you're gonna take out certain
I mean, that's
actions.
what Nintendo did.
But I think you're gonna take out certain actions because I think instead of going like you can't make a World War II game, you can't do like quick assassinations now. Only Call of Duty can do that. You can't have weapons on the bottom of the gun. That's only Gears of War. That's only like Epic Games can do that now. You can't have weapons that fly or at other people or anything like that. That's God of War and that's Sony. So I mean that's what I mean though is that like that's where you're gonna kind of start getting that, and that's gonna kind of, and it really does
It's
narrow.
concerning.
But
It does.
and it really narrows people's creativity because people are influenced and they're inspired by
Yeah.
games that they've played, games that they have
Exactly.
fun with,
Yeah.
and and people always go, oh well, it's God of War like,
Yeah.
or it's oh it's Uncharted, it's like Uncharted, or anything else, and
Castlevania Symphony of the Night 1, 2, and I forget the one that was in between those, played just like a God of War game.
Yeah.
And when I was playing it, I remember like, oh my God, he sounds like Kratos every time he's grunting and
Yeah.
he's throwing his red whip around and he has the two abilities.
yeah.
It's very that game is very similar to God
And
of War
I can tell you right now, the studio went, God of War did it, we can do it too.
Yeah.
It sells games. People are gonna love it.
Yeah.
People are gonna love the fact that it feels just like a God of War game.
Exactly.
Because as soon as you play it, it feels familiar, and
But-
then the game is easy to pick up.
But
you know?
now the people who worked in those game companies, they're not there anymore. It's just a name. It's just an entity. We should pay attention more to the people who actually did that and created that. And now
Well-
we see that those people are gone. And now
Well-
that's why things are kind of in the state that they are.
But that's and that leads to a bigger conversation towards video companies and like actually paying your developers the right amount of money and making sure that they're all contracted and making them actual employees instead of contract employees that I can just fire at a whim, or paying them what they're worth and making they're not just contracted, they're not just contracted for this specific game, because technically you can have an entire like group of people that are hired on for this God of War game.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we're done with the God of War game, everyone's fired. And everybody's laid off because I don't need you guys anymore. And then you have to go somewhere else and find another job, which is terrible. It used to be we stay at the company, we keep making games, and that's what we do. But that costs a lot more money. And what they do is they take what they've already worked on, they fire everybody else, they hire new people, they give them the old code that everybody else already worked on, and they go, cool, figure out how the old code worked,
Yeah.
and then do it for something else, and that's why the game sucks.
And then we end up getting games like Dragon Age The Veilguard because that
Or
that
Andromeda.
is
Or
it-
Andromeda.
It's still BioWare. It's still
Yeah, I know.
BioWare.
Yeah, or Andromeda, or or even any of like what was it called, Resident Evil 6,
Oof.
where it was like, what about if we made it side scroller?
Well, Capcom was that's still Capcom, right?
It's Capcom.
Yeah, it's Capcom. Yeah.
Yeah, Capcom doesn't make, or even the new Devil May Cries, which was not good. They were very boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a weird place that video games are in. I don't really know where it's gonna take people. I don't know what it opened the floodgates. I don't know where companies are gonna take it. So I mean, until we see, who knows? Maybe this is the only one. I doubt it, but
Well,
it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, it's Nintendo. They have a pretty sensitive ego, so
Yeah, they do.
just don't do anything that's Nintendo related, people.
Yeah, Nintendo sucks.
What if we made a game about an electrician that's Greek?
I love that idea. I love that idea.
Yeah.
A Greek electrician?
A Greek electrician.
And we name him Paolo.
We need
Paolo.
It's a me, a Paolo.
Oppa!
Oppa! Manja.
That would be
And
really
cheers.
funny.
Yeah.
And it goes in air ducts,
Yeah.
not pipes.
And he uses a bottle of Windex.
Yes.
Have you seen my big fat Greek wedding?
Yeah. He's blue.
He's blue.
He's blue.
And what is the other one? Yellow?
No,
No,
he rides
white,
it-
like the Greek flag.
Okay. Okay. and instead of Toad, it's it being a
Is
mushroom.
that why
it's an
Mario
olive.
and Luigi are red and green?
Yes, because
Yeah.
It's Italian.
Maybe the
flag.
Italian.
Well, there you go.
It's the
plumbers.
Italian
Yeah.
flag. Yes, they're extremely.
We're
racist.
onto something. You're onto something, actually.
Drop a bomb
Yeah.
on certain people.
Right.
Weird things.
Well, I think that
Anyway,
wraps it up for comic
Super
strip.
Yeah.
duper ballo. Super duper ballo.
which are for the. I think. Anyway,
Got
which
sidetracked
we're,
by ballo.
I know, by ballo. I know. My brain's still on that.
We're doing Italian things. We're
doing
saying ballo.
Paolo. Anyway, I don't know why Paolo. I always think of the Lizzie McGuire movie.
No,
Oh,
sing
yeah.
to me, ballo.
Sing to me, Paolo.
La la la. See that guy? You know, that's how I sing. He's all,
Yeah. The
God, I hate that guy. in that
for the main
movie.
topic, I wanted to talk. We wanted to talk
Piece of
about
trash.
Peacemaker. Speaking.
Oh
of-
yes, that's the
Pacemaker
because that's
came
the
out.
because that's gonna be the
trailer.
clicks on this video.
Yeah.
Like,
So I
We're
wanted
talking
to,
about
I wanted to talk
Peacemaker.
about. We wanted to talk about Peacemaker.
yeah.
Peacemaker. The teaser trailer finally released for Peacemaker.
Mhm.
They also came out with a release date as well. August.
Yes.
Yeah, that it's going to be coming out in August, which
On
is
Max.
which is interesting because we're getting our our
Yes.
Superman
July.
in July,
Mm-hmm.
and then August we're getting
Yeah.
we're getting Peacemaker.
Which is funny because the trailer starts with his audition to the JSA.
Yes.
You know, we can probably do a live reaction while we have the trailer playing here,
You
playing
wanna
it
do-
there.
can we
and
do
we
that?
We
could,
can do it.
because
Alright.
I personally have not seen the trailer.
Have you not?
Now,
We-
is there? I
Uh,
have
the
not. I
audio-
didn't have a
So
chance
the-
because
So the only only thing
keep it
that
up with the
I
nerds
can
first.
So the only thing that I can do,
Yeah,
or you, well, technically you,
me. Yeah.
yeah, is you can either put an echo on the audio or you can muffle it.
Oh no, it's fine. It's free use. I
The-
can. We
the
can.
trailer?
We can use the trailer because we are simply critiquing it.
Oh, as long as we're
not.
reacting
We're
to
not
it.
profiting.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
And we
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
profit from these episodes.
Oh, that's true.
yet.
We could. Okay.
So now.
let me
audio.
see.
I would
Let me
like to do
double
it. Go ahead and figure out the audio.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that it works. I'm interested to see what's going on in this in the Peacemaker thing, which in the Peacemaker teaser, it's pretty funny. You might also have to curse a couple of. I think it has a couple of curse words in it. So just keep an eye out for
Let's
those. So we
see.
may.
I can go to YouTube and actually get the censored version of Peacemaker season 2 trailer.
If you could find it, that'd be great. But while they're looking for that, and we're gonna talk about Peacemaker, you guys hadn't really found it. That way we can work on the audio, everything like that. You guys hadn't seen it. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was Andor. We didn't really get a whole.
Oh, yeah.
9
You went off the
episodes
rails
in.
for a few segments, so we lost a lot of time.
Me?
Too. Yes.
Me
For
Okay,
what?
Yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is what happens when Brian's not here.
Yeah.
For this episode? Yeah.
Heel boy, heel down.
Yeah, we
We'll get we'll get a squirt gun
squirt gun
for next
week.
week.
Next
Yeah.
week.
No.
No, well, I mean, especially seeing as next week is going to be the end of Andor, so we'll actually have like a finale on that one. But just kind of going over just the basics of Andor. It's so far it's really good.
Yeah.
It's super
Is it?
super
Yeah.
good. The basis for it is the actual rebellion. Like now we're in the rebellion, which is great. I love seeing just rebels fighting the Empire. That's so good. And I feel like that's really what made Rogue One so much fun, was actually seeing like a ragtag army fighting this like this just indomitable like is it playing? Or
That was coming from the
It's coming from
the Mac the
Mac
Mac.
speakers.
Yeah, so we might have to do it that way.
Okay.
But there was something playing in the background. Is there audio playing on one of the tabs?
You can close all.
Just close all the tabs except
Okay.
for that one,
Okay.
because it could be the one that he had.
Mm.
I think the Peacemaker audio. Yeah,
Might be
there
that
it is.
one there because I see a speaker on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If there's a speaker on it, then most likely that's what's playing. Yeah, it's that. Okay, so anyway, Andor has been really, really good. I've been enjoying it. I'm 9 episodes in. When I was sick on Monday because I didn't go into work, I burned through it. I was only I just hammered through it. I'm loving this honestly should be the way that they released shows on Disney Plus. Release 3 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
So far it's been working for both Daredevil It worked for Andor. Just keep doing it. This week to week stuff, terrible. Don't do it. Give me arcs, because that's
a great way of doing it. Yeah, arcs for series.
Because that's kind of what they did for Andor, was where they did like they did this like smaller arc where it's Gorman, where it's like the Gorman stuff and everything else, and then you had like this whole setup for like Gorman. The Empire needs Gorman because they need to mine it for the Death Star. For like materials to build the Death Star. Okay. So then they start making things on Gorman to piss off the locals. So there's an actual place in Gorman where it's called the Tarkin Massacre Memorial.
Jesus.
So inside of Legends there was this thing on Gorman where Admiral Tarkin kills a bunch of Gormans, and that's what starts the rebellion. So they retconned it a little bit where they said that on Gorman, Tarkin killed people very early into the Empire. But that was like 20 years ago. That was like right after the Empire had taken over. And it's a really messed up way. So Tarkin was in the square with his ship, and the Gormans wouldn't allow it to land because he was trying to land it right in the middle of their square. And the Gormans wouldn't let it land, so he landed the ship on top of them and killed 300 people with his ship, thinking that he would never, like, no one would ever land a ship on top of people. He did it.
Yeah.
He did that.
That's funny.
And so then how do we piss off people that have already been pissed off by the Empire is we build a military base right in front of the Tarkin Memorial, and it's and the base is so big it leads a shadow over the memorial, which the Empire said they would never do, which is just pissing people off even more, and they're doing it on purpose. You can tell, the Empire's talking about it where they're just like, we want them to be pissed off. We want them to make the first strike. The minute that they do anything, it gives our claims validation, because they've already been churning the propaganda machine in Coruscant and across the galaxy that the Gormans are violent, that the Gormans are evil, that they keep on attacking Imperials. They keep on doing all these other things, and the Gormans are peaceful people. They make silk.
That's fake news. That's fake news. It's not silk. It's actually strands to kill people.
Well, no,
they're evil, violent murderers.
So they have this. So specifically on Gorman, you have this like spider that makes like silk, and that's how they make clothes.
The Weaver of Lies.
So what happens is that these are very peaceful people, and they're waiting for them to get so pissed off that they do it, that they start slipping them information on like trade routes. On oh yeah, guns are going to be available. You can get guns, and what do? They spark the rebels to go ahead and attack it. They do so, and they videotape the whole thing, and then show it to the entire galaxy, and then say, "Look how violent the Gormans are. They killed officers doing this. They murdered," and then they upped the numbers where it was like there was nobody on the ship. It was like a robot, and they were just like there was like 20 people guarding the ship.
Damn.
And
sounds very much like today's regime in America.
It's very the propaganda machine is running.
Don't say that, because people are like, "What do you mean?"
So it's very much the propaganda machine is running.
Right?
But I thought it was so interesting of the amount there.
Some people can't do that.
The amount of like propaganda and the way that the machine is running, to the point where there's a riot going on in the streets, and they're like, "Oh, all we need is one person. We just need one person to attack an Imperial officer." So they send a platoon of unexperienced soldiers out into the mob to then settle the mob down. And the Gormans are like they're just throwing tomatoes, they're throwing cans at them and everything like that. And as soon as one of them gets hit with one of them, they hit somebody with like a baton, and the Gormans just start tackling all of them.
Oh, wow.
And then as soon as they started tackling that platoon,
Recording.
no, they're not even recording. They just start laying into the crowd. They just start shooting people. They just start just with a Gatling
They threw the
gun.
first punch.
Exactly.
And it was a tomato, so I had to shoot him.
No, exactly. And they just start blowing everybody away. And they commit a genocide. They showed a genocide on Disney Plus. And not only that, but then they showed K2S units just bitch slapping people, breaking their necks. There's a main character from this rebellion that they built on Gorman. And they're literally like, she's like a main character. You've been following her for a couple of episodes. And a K2SO unit, as she's trying to help someone up who is shot, pimp slaps her in the face, snapping her neck to then roll, and then the camera lingers onto her dead face.
Wow.
And then cuts to everything else, and it looks like it looks almost like a Spielberg where on Saving Private Ryan, Omaha Beach, where just smoke is going off. You see Gorman's trying to pull like the wounded out of the crosshairs. People are getting gunned down as they're carrying bodies.
So basically, it's the way that the original Rogue One was supposed to be.
Very much so. And the thing is that as soon as they do that, so they kill all the Gormans, and then that's what leads to Mon Mothma going, "This can't stand." And then she speaks out against the Emperor, which leads her as a enemy of the state, which then she then has to escape Coruscant. And it's like this huge, like, kind of like, okay, cool. So she has to escape. We have to do all these other things. The
Any
Empire's
cameos that you've seen so far that are noteworthy that people will be like, oh, hey, that's cool?
The interesting thing is that they actually recast Bail Organa for this. It's not Jimmy Smits. He actually did say it's not that I didn't want to return. It's that I had a scheduling conflict, and I could not appear.
Damn.
But Jimmy Smits is.
I like Jimmy
But
Smits.
Bail Organa is so integral, where it's like we can't not have him in this. Bail Organa has to be here.
So what they do?
as-
3D impose his face?
No, they just recast him. They just recast him. That was it. It was the dude from Miss Congeniality. The Hispanic actor who was in Miss Congeniality.
I know exactly who. Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yes.
It's Lou Diamond
It's
Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
So
Is it
anyway,
Lou Diamond Phillips? Wait, from Miss Congeniality?
The first one?
yeah,
No,
the very first one.
Yeah, no, that was wasn't it the guy from Demolition Man?
He is from Demolition Man.
Yeah,
yes,
that's not Lou Diamond Phillips.
Okay, so it's not him.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's the guy from was it Blood In, Blood Out?
yes.
Yeah. That one.
Anyway,
Yes.
we'll find his name.
Yeah.
Sean
No one
put
knows his name.
Sean put a picture here. Anyway, they kind of do that, and it's interesting because he won't.
Benjamin
Bratt.
Benjamin
Him.
Bratt.
He does look. He looks just like Lou Diamond Phillips to me, like very
Okay.
similar. They have the same.
Yeah, and
facial
also he's a
structures.
he's also a really great actor.
Like distant cousins. But
Yeah,
okay.
he looks great. He also looks great as Bail Organa.
He
looks-
does. He actually does. Yeah.
So I mean, even if like if anything happens, we know that we have a backup.
Just on hold.
Yeah, just on hold. He does look like he does. I can
Boom.
see it.
You guys.
No, I can see it.
Can kiss my testes.
No, I can see it.
He has a more
Absolutely.
rounder face.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm just
It's the
saying.
angle. He's looking up.
But it's so
No,
interesting.
Lou Diamond Phillips has a more rounder
No, but
face.
so it's so interesting though
Yeah.
because you do have the building of Yavin in these episodes. So you do anybody that doesn't know
Yeah.
the Yavin is this like major rebel base. That's where the rebels are in episode 4. That's where the Death Star is trying to destroy the planet and everything like that on the planet of Yavin. So they're actually building that whole like base right now. They're building the base of Yavin,
Okay.
which is great. And also it's a weird countdown because they Andor happens in 1 BBY because it's the Battle of Yavin. So it happens it starts in 14 BBY, and as it's been going, because it happens just before the Battle of Yavin, you're counting down, which is like this weird clock, like this ticking clock of like he has 4 years to live. He only has, because it's like, okay, cool.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
It's
that's why I'm not
it's
super intrigued by Andor, because I just know the character's fate. That's why. So it's like, if I know what the outcome is, why do I want to watch a show before then? and
It's
stuff?
interesting because it's the building of his character to
Mhm.
getting to that point, the stakes that it was there, and it
Mhm.
also re-amplifies why he was so intense in the movie,
Mhm.
which is great. It's such an interesting thing. Not only that, but also you can kind of tell that he was like their go-to spy,
Mhm.
and this is really informing why he was their go-to spy, because he was on he's been at all of like the major rebellion
Mhm.
things that have been going on in the galaxy for the last 14
Yeah.
years. Because in Andor, you've been seeing like all of the sparks of rebellion, and Cassian has been there
Mhm.
as like an agent, in the shadows and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then you lead into, okay, cool. Because in Rebels, they even said there was an agent who got Mon Mothma off the planet, and she was given to Gold Squadron. In Rebels, we didn't know who that agent was. Now we know it was Cassian Andor.
Okay.
So it's just like a nice little, like, we're filling in some spaces that we didn't originally have. It's a really fun show. I'm enjoying it so much. Honestly, it feels kind of like a Bond movie. Like it feels like James Bond in space, which
Okay.
is great.
All right.
All right.
I'll try to check it out, but I
Yeah.
can't make any promises. That's the thing.
S-
I know Brian's gonna try and watch the show.
Brian, he has
Yeah.
off for the next couple of days
Yeah.
because I think he's on leave right now. He said he's
Yeah.
going to try and catch up
Officially
on
on
it.
leave now.
He's officially on leave.
Yeah.
Good
so,
for him.
Yeah, good for him. He's going to spend some time with his baby.
As he should.
So here's my question for this. We can do this one of two ways. We can end the podcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That way it's still at 1:45.
Yeah.
And then we do the other thing and then we do the reaction
Mhm.
as a separate video, and we just chop it up
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
as a smaller video,
Alright.
because that way it will just be
Yeah.
another thing to post.
Yeah.
Sound
Wrap
good?
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys want to see the teaser, click the link on the bottom.
Mhm.
It'll be popping up right at
Yeah.
the end. Everything like that. We'll probably be posting that along with this episode, so that way you guys can go check that out as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch it. So we'll go ahead and close out the episode, and then
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and add that as a little
Little blurb.
little blurb at the end.
blurb. Yeah.
All right. So once again, you can find us at all of our websites. You can keep, keepingupwiththenerds.com. You can find us on our Facebook, all of our social medias.
Twitter.
He fumbled
Yeah,
that.
I did.
Facebook,
Facebook, Instagram, and X.com. You can also find us on YouTube Shorts, and you can go ahead and subscribe, like the video, comment below. Did you like Andor? Are you excited for Peacemaker? What do you think of it? Stuff like that. Go ahead and comment below, and we'll close out the show. Anybody have anything else before I close it out?
If you guys think we should rehearse our social media.
Oh yeah, we definitely should.
Yeah.
No, that's not a
Yeah.
common thing. You
Yeah.
just keep making fun of me. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's pretty easy to remember. It
You
kind of
know
rolls
what?
off the tongue. Be sure to
I
check
can never
out and
remember
follow
it.
our
I'll be
Instagram,
honest, I
Twitter,
would never remember it.
and xmen.com. Don't forget to follow our Podbean, Apple Podcast, and also YouTube Music.
See,
It doesn't sound.
It doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound. I think it's just Brian.
Yeah.
No.
I think the way that just
It's-
Brian
I think
delivers
it's-
it.
I think it's his tonation. He has like a rhythm to it. It's a practice.
We have to listen to it.
It's a practice. It's a practice rhythm.
God.
I don't like it.
We're just going to
End
insert
the
the clip of him.
All right. Yeah.
Cut to black.
You guys have been watching Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 247. My name is Nick Valero.
Rene.
I'm Sean.
See you guys on the next one.
Later.